Why is it so hard to leave? And why do we stay in abusive relationships? Or better, why do we go from one abusive relationship to another? And what is needed to break that cycle? This is not an easy topic, and this is not... Where do I start? I could go on for an hour, but I'm going to try to be concise in this video and talk only about a few aspects. So there's a lot I'm leaving out. If you're going from one abusive relationship to another, you get out of one and you say, that's it, I'm never going to allow myself to be treated that way again. And then you go into another, and then it takes on the same form over time. Or maybe you find out early on. But again, it's a repeat. And then you get out of that, and the cycle continues. If that's what's happening to you, you gotta look at yourself. You gotta look at your relationship to yourself. If you're saying that you want someone who is this or this or this quality, ask yourself, turn that around to yourself and say, do I possess those qualities within myself? And do I treat others that way? If I want someone who respects me, do I also respect myself? If I want someone who loves me for who I am, do I do that for myself? Oftentimes people try to leave relationships and they're getting to that point where they want to leave and they can't pull the trigger and make that jump. And they will even start to defend the other person. But I love him or her. But they're not all bad. And of course, I don't know how to be gentle. No one is all bad. But if you continue to endure and if you continue to be the receptacle for someone's pain and allow yourself to be treated like dirt, that means you do not love yourself and you do not respect yourself enough to leave. And you get to you're walking up to the edge of that cliff and you're about to make that jump and you're fucking terrified because you don't know what's on the other side. You know how to handle the crisis. You know how to handle the games. You know how to handle the bullshit. What you don't know is how to be with yourself in a healthy relationship. And when you do step both feet off of that cliff into the abyss and it hurts and you're lost and you're crying and you're in so much pain, welcome to the beginning of a new start of you. Welcome to you finding who you are. You're beginning, when you get to that point where you're like, not just in that cycle of going from one abusive relationship to another, but when you crash and burn so hard that something in you dies, it ends, the cycle is broken, and you are on the ground and you can say, never, ever again will I allow myself to be treated that way. And if that means that I'm alone for the rest of my life, well, fine, good, because I'll be alone and I'll be happy. Because no person is worth me disrespecting myself, ever, ever. And in a healthy relationship, you can be who you are. That person will love you for who they are. They will take who you are as part of themselves. That's what love is. As opposed to being used, being a doormat. Oh no, I can't say what I want to say because I'll hurt their feelings. You gotta put your happiness first. You gotta make yourself happy first. And when you grow up being abused, you have no idea how to do that. You are taught to make other people happy first, and that's all that matters. And if you don't, you'll have hell to pay. We've got to turn this around. We've got to turn this around and start loving ourselves. When I say loving yourself, I don't mean narcissism, because that's not self-love. I don't mean this sort of, I'm better than everyone else grandiosity. That's not what self-love is. I mean, it's knowing that you are worthy and deserving of being who you are, whoever you are. It means that if you go into a relationship and the other person loves sports and you don't care about sports, instead of saying, oh, I love sports, I like what you like, I totally love sports. No, that means that you honor yourself and say, not my thing. Go ahead, enjoy. Enjoy watching sports, whatever you do, or playing sports, whatever. But it's not for me. That's honoring yourself. If we learn to people please, then it's like, whatever you like, I like. Whatever you do, I do. Where are you? You are so valuable. And when you tap into that, and when you finally embrace that, your life will change. And it happens slowly. Just like you learn to not value yourself, that happened slowly and gradually, and it repeated itself for years. That cycle repeated for years. Instead, flip it around, flip the script. Everything you learned in childhood, or probably mostly everything, was coming from a place of hatred, self-hatred, coming from people who hated themselves. They passed that on to you, and now you got all that shit. Why? Life is not for struggling and suffering and being abused and being a doormat. That's the old way. That's the old stuff. You got to break that pattern. Fracture all of that crap. That's not you. That's a fucking story that you learned. Disidentify with that story and come home to you. And the process of discovering who you are is a fantastic and wonderful journey. I'll stop here. I could go on. I hope that helps. And know that wherever you are on this path, you're not alone. I'm talking about these things having been through it and come out on the other side. I know how difficult it is. I know how bloody painful it is. And it's no small feat. You're not alone. I totally get it, and I'm totally with you. Just know that you deserve love, starting with yourself first. Take good care of yourselves, everyone. I give you a great big hug. I'll see you in the next video.